So I want to talk about Butcher since we're on that, but I want to talk about Soldier Boy real quick. Although he was in the season like 10 seconds, like his body or his sleeping. But I was just thinking about, so I went back and checked. Soldier Boy was in 4 episodes in this entire show. Like he's only in 4 episodes of season 3. And he is a major presence in the show. He didn't show up until the end of season 3. He wasn't in the first half of the show. And I was like, that's incredible. That's incredible. Like how he has, I don't know, maybe half an hour of screen time in this entire show. And he still looms over the entire thing. That's amazing that you could pull off a character that well. Because I was kind of hoping Soldier Boy wouldn't be in this season. Because I was like, I want to say, I know they'll bring him back. But I want him back for season 5. And I don't know what they'll do with him. And I was kind of glad to see that they just didn't, have him involved in everything and place him at the end. But Butcher. So you mentioned Butcher and how Huey and Butcher and Soldier Boy teamed up against Homelander. And so Butcher is sick and he takes more V and he has superpowers now, but I gotta say, man, I liked his old superpowers better. I mean, they were perfectly fine in season 3 when he had super strength and laser vision. I don't like the symbiote creature. I don't know. Is it? What do you think? That's just me.
I couldn't agree more.
Jesus, it's so great. I was worried about that because a lot of people like it. No, I'm not a fan.
People like it. It's great, and this is, I think it goes into my bigger issue with season 4. The one real large issue is that they got too edgy for their own good, and I feel like Butcher's new powers is just another example of that. Like and I get it, right? Because for the way the Butcher's characterization this season to work with the parasite being in him, being his sort of evil half or whatever, there has to be a portion of him that like takes over, and it has to manifest physically in some way. So I understand why like laser beams wouldn't necessarily work because that's not necessarily like a physical manifestation of his other personality. It has to be something like Dr. Octopus flavored. But that doesn't mean I like it. That doesn't mean I like it at all. I can understand where it's coming from, but I thought it was ugly. I thought it was really ugly and overly edgy.
Yo, man, I love that you said it. So, all right. You're right. Like it's a sufficient answer, but it doesn't mean I have to like it. I was complaining a while ago. I do another show, and we did a Star Wars episode, and I was talking about the prequels and how I don't like Obi-Wan Kenobi in The Phantom Menace because he's like 20 years old, but he acts exactly the same as he acted when he was 60 something years old in the original Star Wars films. It's like he's like a 20-year-old kid and he's sage and wise and speaks slowly and thoughtfully. It's like that is not how 20-year-olds act, man. He should be out there with something to prove. He should be charging headfirst in the battle like you would when you're 20 years old. And someone told me like, well, no, you don't understand. He was taken to the Jedi Temple as a baby where they trained him to control his emotions. Like, yeah, okay, I know. That's still not a compelling character. It's like what you're doing is you're saying that I'm telling you I don't like vanilla ice cream, and your response is no, you don't understand. It tastes that way because it's made from vanilla beans. Like, no, I know, I get it. I'm just saying it still sucks. And so it worked. Like the symbiote thing does work with the whole manifesting a different personality, but it doesn't make it interesting. Did you ever watch Umbrella Academy? Did you ever see that show?
Yeah, I watched the first season.
Okay, so the number 6 with the tentacles out of his chest, his tentacles even look better. Like they look a lot better than Butcher's. I didn't like Butcher's tentacles at all. Oh, actually, this is a Butcher. I'm gonna play a few seconds from this, but this is for the very end of the show with the big surprise. With if you guys didn't know, Victoria Neuman dies, which I want to talk about that too. But all right. Oh my God. All right. So here's all right, those tentacles look like shit. I hate them. I hate them so much. But I don't like the tentacles. I was fine with the split personality thing. That's all right. I'm cool with that. I actually kind of liked that part. But with Victoria Newman's death, we might as well hop onto her. Unless you got more to say about Butcher before we didn't really spend too much time on him.
I was not even going to necessarily say something about Butcher, but I did want to interject slightly in your point about like how in your example about Star Wars, that you really just sort of like stumbled upon the main issue with I think a lot of media criticism nowadays, is that somebody could come out and say, I didn't like this aspect of this film or this TV show, and a bunch of fucking know-it-alls in the comments in their one brain cell minds think that it's because you don't understand why it exists.
Yes.
So they feel like they have the need to explain it to you. And then if you get the explanation, you're gonna be like, oh, I suddenly enjoy it. And that's always something that's frustrated me, because every time I say I don't like something, somebody in my comments is gonna explain to me something I already knew.
Yeah. That annoys me so much. It's like, yeah, I don't care if there's an in-universe explanation from it. I'm saying it's unenjoyable. I don't care if it makes logical sense in the universe. So I don't like the fact that Tori Newman died, but I had to freeze for this part right here. I can't stand this frame or these frames here, because she should be yelling or screaming or something. Like she stands like a statue while the thing wraps around her head and I noticed it immediately when it happened, and whenever I went back and watched it, it still bugs me. Like I don't know what was happening. Like maybe they didn't tell her, oh, this is the time where the tentacles are going to wrap around you with the CGI, and it was for something else, or I don't know. Maybe they did it in post. I mean, without telling her. I hate that. All right, what did you think about the death of our queen here at the end of the? I'll go first. I guess is that. I didn't see it coming. It upset me, and I don't think sometimes I miss it. I don't even remember like decent foreshadowing for it. Like I don't remember. Like I was kind of surprised none of the boys died. I guess she's not part of the boys, but close enough. Like none of the boys died. I was like, oh, okay, I expected someone to die. I mean, she wouldn't be the last one I picked, but like bottom 3 easily, and just unceremonious as fuck, just dead. Just like not a heroic something. She's standing there minding her own business. Butcher comes in and rips her in half in front of her daughter. I didn't like that. I didn't like it. I don't know. Like, what did you feel about it?
It's funny because I just told you how annoying I find people that explain shit, and I'm gonna do it to you. The screaming shit is something that like I agree I thought was really, really strange, but then I recontextualize it to sort of like and this is more so my headcanon, not necessarily me explaining it, but it's like the idea that she's a hardened badass who like it was around this point one of the top, I would say top 5 most powerful soups in the series, and she just didn't want to go out like no punk.
She could at least look surprised. I said that you don't gotta yell like a baby, but some emotion other than this. Whenever you're people, I don't know.
So I get it, but as far as the death scene goes, she didn't look that. It didn't look that intense for her. But as far as her death scene goes, it's so funny because we have the opposite. We have the opposite reaction.
I missed it all.
I didn't expect it at all. I didn't expect it at fucking all. And that's why it got me. I was like, shit. Okay. All right. You know what I mean? Because nobody super significant had died this season.
No.
That I felt really weird. I felt really strange. So if the season had ended with everybody just alive, I would have been very confused. And so, and I think they took advantage of the fact that Neuman was a fan favorite. I think they took genuine advantage of that ever since her introduction. Neuman was a huge fan favorite. And so I was not expecting it, because I was like, oh, I love Neuman. We're gonna keep seeing so much of her. Oh my God, she's finally switched to the good side. She's finally part of the boys. What happens next? But we see what happens next, and it makes so much sense with Butcher's character. He don't even like Starlight. He doesn't even he wants Starlight dead. Like there was no way he was gonna let Neuman on the team. Like there was just no reality in which that was going to happen. So it made sense, and that's why I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Butcher killing her does make sense. Yeah, but like especially when Ryan kills Grace Mallory, we can go over that a little bit later too. But Butcher doesn't have any love. In fact, like when he's in there, like he like aims the tentacles kind of at Starlight and everything. He's like, fine. Yeah, here we. Yeah, Kimiko is like, all right, yeah, I'll do you guys last, and then kind of
Yeah,
walks out. But you're right. I had the same thought that okay, someone has to die eventually. Maybe it's just that my heart was in for Frenchie to die. Like I was just waiting for Frenchie to die, and then they did the Uno revert, and they're
yeah,
like, oh, actually, it's going to be Neuman. It's like, and after all she went through, that's the part too that I thought that
that's what
she had
sucks.
done so much work and she still had shit to do. And
Yeah,
yeah, you're right. It was invigorating because I was like, because even when she got, trapped by Butcher, I was like, oh, she'll get out of it. Oh my God, she didn't. I kept waiting for, someone to
yeah,
like knock Butcher over or something like that, or her to break free, her to pop the tentacles. I don't know, but I didn't expect that, and I'm still kind of sad about that. I kind of wanted more from Neuman.